Monday, 6 Eastern time. And, you know, this week the big headline coming out of the Race Hub studios, we named our top 50 drivers all time in the history of NASCAR. There were 21 of us at NASCAR on Fox that sent in our ballots. And I understand we're doing something similar, top 10 Xfinity drivers of all time, as a part of our pre-race coverage tomorrow, 2:30 Eastern time on Fox.
Yeah, that sparked such great debate with not only our fans, but the garage area, talking about who made the list and where they were positioned. And so it's going to be interesting to me to see the philosophies, the criteria that maybe some of the folks polled take as they looked at the top Xfinity drivers of all time, how that'll look.
But it was the same when you look at the top 50 all time. You know, I looked at stats because that's all I have to go on. You drove with these guys. You have a totally different perspective. It was very interesting to see how it all mapped out.
Yeah, Richard Petty will always be my number one. That's just who I am. It's how I was raised. I don't know how I could ever change that. It was pointed out to me that back in the 60s and 70s when he was so dominant, the average number of cars finishing on the lead lap was 2. That was an argument against Richard Petty by some, saying that the competition wasn't that great. I said, no, that just tells you how good Richard
hang
is.
with him.
Nobody could get anywhere near him.
2 sides to every story, right? What's up, Matt?
Number one, I had to go with the King also as my number one all time on that driver's list. And Michael, look, I know why you had to put the King there as well. Bonus points because of all the stuff that you wrecked while you actually lived with the King.
That's mean. That's mean.
But it's truthful. But we know what we all love, the King. Talking about another driver as a good fan base is the 7 of Justin Allgaier. P4 on the board, just over 15 laps so far during this session. And they're trying to focus more on 1 and 2 than 3 and 4. The car's near perfect there, but they're not trying to improve it enough to where then they kill themselves down in 3 and 4. So it's such a balance that you guys have documented earlier. One other interesting note is the 7 team hasn't scuffed any tires. Meanwhile, the 22, they scuffed all but 1 set, leaving 1 set of stickers just in case that looks like the way to go. So a number of different philosophies down here. And by the way, we'd be remiss if we didn't see right there on the roof, you can see a big decal that says Happy Birthday, Dad. It's Justin's father, Mike's 70th birthday. Happy birthday, big guy.
Is that today, Matt? Today's his birthday?
You know what? I believe it's this weekend.
You got one this weekend, too. Happy birthday to you and Jamie Little of our NASCAR on Fox family, I believe celebrating on Monday. So happy birthday to all. The Allgaier family, Matt and Jamie, the whole bunch.
Allgaier's putting together some really nice laps here, Adam. I've been watching the monitor trying to pick my favorite. I like to look at the times and see the fall off, and right now I haven't seen anything much better than the 7 of Justin Allgaier, Regan. But if I was going to pick the next guy, it would be the 2 of Matt Tifft. He's got a lot of speed.
Michael, he does have a lot of speed, and he's been fast both practices. Now, all the RCR cars look good today. Matt just hopped out of his race car. He was losing the nose into turn 3, and the car wants to come around a little bit too much in traffic. So that's valuable information for the crew chief. He's been in traffic. He knows what he's got going on there. They think maybe some of that nose being lost going into turn 3 has to do with the wind. And as I look up at the flags, I see a pretty decent wind blowing today here. So maybe something that they're fighting right there. This is a guy that's really starting to come alive, had some good runs here as of late. And with surface sunscreen on the car, they're excited because now it's available at Fanatics, and they just grabbed me and said, Regan, you might want to get some of that surface sunscreen. Apparently, I'm looking a little bit red down here.
Hey, we saw Matt talking there with Randall Burnett, Regan. And you've been a part of a new operation where you come in, and that's the circumstance for Matt in 2018 going over to Richard Childress Racing. You talked about how they've gotten better and better. How much of that is a testimony to the chemistry that's being built and him figuring out the new operation?
Well, I think all that's chemistry, Adam. You know, sometimes you click with the crew chief, and you have that click immediately. Sometimes it takes 5, 10, 11 races. I talked to Matt at Daytona before they even made the first laps on the racetrack, and he said, you know, there's just something about hanging out with Randall Burnett. I feel good around him. We really have good conversation. We feel like we're on the same page and we can finish each other's sentences. So I think we're just seeing that continue on. He had that confidence in Randall before the season even started. You go out, you have a couple good runs, you build some momentum, and then it just continues to grow.
20 minutes to go in final practice. Continues to be Hemrick, Blaney, Tifft, Allgaier, and Ryan Reed, your top 5 here at Texas.